What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the pre-match build-up for the game between Manchester United and Liverpool at Old Trafford. It is a repeat of the FA Cup fixture, and we're hoping that the game goes the exact same way. Now, I'm going to read out the lineups for you very, very shortly, within 30 seconds to a minute. But before I do that, Shreyas, just talk to me about this game, how much it means, what you're expecting from it, all that good stuff. Talk to me.
I mean, of course, once again, it's one of, I would say, probably the biggest games of our season whenever we come up against Liverpool. And I think right now, this match actually holds a lot of importance, not just for them, but for us as well. Because if we are able to win this game, could probably, I wouldn't say that we make top 4 or top 5, but at least, it changes the morale of this team altogether. Because we still got an FA Cup run left in us, in this season itself. So I think these sort of fixtures and wins, in these sort of games can actually go a long way. Apart from that, when it comes to Liverpool side, I think every single game the pressure is on them to actually, take the result, because City aren't dropping points. Arsenal for some reason aren't dropping points either. So they also need to, keep on matching them and keep on, taking points week after week after week. And I think if you look at it from Liverpool's perspective, this is the best time that they could actually come to Old Trafford. You've got a very, very weakened and injured Manchester United side where you don't have Luke Shaw, where you don't have Lisandro Martinez, you probably don't even have Rafa Varane.
No McTominay, as well, as we just learned.
Yeah, no McTominay. You've got a completely out of form Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, and a completely out of form Marcus Rashford. And perhaps there are just three under 21-year-olds who are actually carrying this side in Højlund, Mainu, and Garnacho. So this is the best time that you can actually come to Old Trafford and try and get 3 points and just make your case quite strong to actually win the Premier League title. But I just think right now anything can happen in this game, because with us the biggest problem for us this season has been, you never know how we are going to be, how the game is going to go. It's going to be a basketball game, spaces are going to be everywhere. It's going to be back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. But the thing has still been, in certain games we end up being a lot more clinical, and in certain games we get a lot more lucky than in certain other games. Because you look at the Brentford game, we probably should have lost that. People still think that 1-1 is a bad result, but I would still say I would still take that point, because if you actually evaluated that game from Brentford's perspective, we didn't even deserve a draw in that game. I think against Chelsea we were a lot more unlucky. I think we still deserved a point from that. I don't understand where the 10 added minutes came from in that game. The 2 penalties were very, very, very soft calls, and on the other end they wouldn't have been given for us. So Chelsea is, once again, I would call it an off game for us. But apart from that, you just don't know how we are going to pull up. Some days we can pull up like the way we did against Villa, where they scored first 2 and then we made a comeback and won 3-2. Or some days it can be like the way we played against Fulham at home. Some days you just don't know what to expect from this team right now.
No.
And I think that is why it makes it just a bit unpredictable from our end. If certain players step up, if certain players have a good outing, maybe we can at least take Liverpool to a draw. Because I think right now, I think even a draw for us is a very decent result for us today.
Yeah.
And a draw for Liverpool is actually a very, very bad result, considering the kind of momentum Arsenal and City are on right now. They're winning week after week after week after week. So it's just going to be very, very, I think the coming few times and the coming few days in this I would say 3-way PL run, it's going to be pretty interesting. And I think right now we are the ones who can actually probably derail one of Liverpool or Arsenal season, because Liverpool are going to be playing us today, and then I think we've also got Arsenal left to play this season at Old Trafford. So I think one of them probably we could actually end up stealing points from. It just depends on how we actually turn up in certain games.
Absolutely. That's why it's interesting, because there's so many angles to discuss on this game. It's almost more, well, it's more important for Liverpool because they're chasing a league title. In terms of rivalry, it's always going to be equal, but they've got a lot of pressure on them as well because they lost the last game. So maybe their heads are a little bit turned in this one.
Yeah.
The lineups are out. They are confirmed. We had it absolutely nailed on from the start. You can see it on your screen. Andre Onana in net, Diego Dalot, Maguire. Willie Camboala makes his first senior start at Old Trafford, one of the 2 changes for United. And we've got Rashford, who replaces Antony as well. So you've got a midfield of Casemiro, Mainu, Bruno, Garnacho, Højlund, and Marcus Rashford as your front 3. For changes for Liverpool, they've got Robertson, Konsa, and Endo in for them as well. And on the subs bench, Shreyas, you ready for this? Bayern Day Harry Hamas, Ogini, Ahmad. Interesting.
Okay.
Amrabat, Ericsson, Forson back in the side, Mason Mount, and Antoinette as well. So we'll get to the subs bench, but there's so much to kind of, like I said in the preview, sink our teeth into. It's a fascinating game. How do you feel about that team? Kambuala's first start.
I think it's the best you could wish for from what you got left. It's the best that you can actually pull out, because I think when you look at that back line, you probably don't really got any other options but to play those guys, because apart from that, you've not absolutely no one. Like genuinely, you've got no one left at centre back to actually come in and play. When it comes to the right back position as well, you've only got two fullbacks in Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Diogo Dalot. So you've not got that sort of leverage that you can pull in someone like Luke Shaw or Malacia or someone else at least to actually fill in those spaces. So backline, you've actually not got any options. I think Casemiro, Menu, and Bruno is probably, I think right now, Ten Hag's most trusted. I would say midfield trio.
Casemiro in that Chelsea game.
You
can't play like that against Liverpool.
Exactly my point. But who else have you got to play in that?
No, I get it. Yeah, especially now Scotty Too Hotty's out as well.
Yeah,
injured.
I think Amrabat is even worse to have in in this team right now.
Yeah.
He's just doesn't put anyone in the right way. But I think with Casemiro, I still have a little hope that probably it's a derby game. Players like Casemiro, in those big games they end up sometimes they just turn up. And I think in that midfield line, we all know that it's not going to be balanced. We all know how open it is going to be. We know either of Casemiro or Menu, whoever is going to be sitting behind, is genuinely just going to be left isolated. So you know what to expect from that midfield line. The only thing that you can wish for is Kambuala has a very decent.
What have you made of his cameo so far since he's appeared in the team? I won't say do you rate him, because we've seen very little of him, but I don't think he's put a foot wrong necessarily, has there?
Exactly. I would say he hasn't put a foot wrong. He's been decent when he's come on, hasn't made a mistake. I think his first game was against West Ham. Yeah. And I thought that he was decent in that game. And apart from that, I think he's got a lot more pace than your Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire, and Lindelof as well. So I think he does have that sort of edge when it comes to his agility on the ball.
I don't think he's been challenged yet, though, has he? Do you know what I mean?
I think
roughed up a bit.
I think the thing has been we genuinely haven't really seen as much of him than anyone would have expected, because it's been 2 starts. I think this is his second start today, so it's just 2 starts, and apart from that, he's been getting 4 or 10 minutes here and there. In the time that he has got, he hasn't put a foot wrong. And I think Kambuala is someone I think the management definitely needs to take a look at, because if there genuinely is talent there, if people actually see a lot of potential in him, then he could actually help us solve a lot of problems for us moving into next season. Because if you look at it, you've got Lisandro Martinez, who even though and Varane, both of them phenomenal players when they're fit and playing, and together one of the best partnerships you could wish for. But both of them are really, really injury prone. Especially Martinez. I think Martinez has actually missed a lot more games than Varane.
Yeah, I'm worried about him
since he's come in. So moving into next season, you probably need 2 centre backs to actually come in and make a place for themselves in this team. And if Kambuala actually has it in him to probably push for a spot, it helps us in actually saving ourselves 50 or 60 million in the transfer window.
Yeah.
So I think today is definitely going to be a big game for him, because if he turns up today against Liverpool, today against Liverpool, like Kobe Mainoo did at Anfield, if he is able to do that for us, it can go a big way into making his career.
It could quite literally make a player, make or break a player in that sense. Yeah. It's like Richie Club Sports says there, Kambuala, little choice but to start him with all the injuries. Just wish Mount was fully match fit and start over Casemiro. He's been awful this season. Well, me and Shreyas both said, I think was it me and you, or did you put Mount in your team, or was it just me? It might have been.
No,
I
didn't put Mount.
So I put Mason in there because I thought he deserves it. He deserves an opportunity. But
he does.
He's very methodical with the way he kind of introduces players. He's only just come back from injury. You've already seen how many players we've lost already due to injury. So he doesn't want to rush him back in that sense. But I still think he could play a pivotal part in this game and should definitely get more minutes than what he did against Chelsea. But you saw Brentford He played 15 minutes against Liverpool due to the fact that we just needed legs in midfield.
Yeah.
And then he got a bit more minutes against Brentford, a bit more against Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? So he's kind of methodically bringing him into the team. I just don't know where he starts on a permanent basis. That's always been the question with Mason Mount. Shah Sam says Anthony should have started. Interesting one. Should he have started? I'll pose that question to you.
He should have, considering
He deserves it.
It's been his best performance in a United shirt.
Yeah.
He definitely should have gotten a nod in this game, but I understand why Ten Hag has gone with Rashford. Look, he's gone into this week. He's made a lot of comments about him, about how he, rates him, how he puts him into this team, and what are the expectations of Marcus Rashford. So, and considering this is one of your biggest games of the seasons now against Liverpool, you would expect him to start, and he has actually, put him in this team. The problem has just been, if I have to compare Anthony and Rashford, Anthony, I never have a problem with his body language. I have a problem with how he conducts himself on the pitch, how he, how he is able to apply himself on the pitch. That is the biggest concern.
Yeah.
With Rashford, I have a very big problem when it comes to his body language on the pitch, because it just doesn't feel that he's, involved in the game, even though he's on
interested.
the pitch. Yeah, and look, every single person here has seen his ability on the ball. Over the years, they know what kind of player he is and what kind of player he can be. And when he is in good form, how far he can actually take United. And we've seen it last season itself. The drop-off has just been so massive, like going from 41 goal contributions last season to I think he's got less goal contributions than Garnacho this season.
Yeah.
So it speaks a lot as to how far Rashford has dropped this season. And considering he was supposed to be a goal-scoring outlet in that front line, because no one expected Højlund to actually come in and have like 12 or 13 goals in his first season itself. No one expected Garnacho to be, flying in that right-wing position all of a sudden. Everyone expected Rashford to once again, be that goal-scoring outlet in that front three. But that's just not been happening, and that's why the goals this season have dropped off so low. I just hope that at least he has a decent game today. At least, he shows that fight, at least, because there's just a lot of questions. Yeah, there's a lot of questions on Marcus Rashford. And right now, I don't know if any United fan would, if PSG do come calling with even like a 50 or 60 million offer right now for Marcus Rashford, I don't know if anyone would actually reject it. Genuinely, I don't know if anyone would actually reject,
It's
Marcus
a tough
Rashford
one, isn't it? Because he's got all the ability in the world, but his application, that's the most frustrating thing with Marcus. Like, he is a very extremely talented player. If you listen to the way England players talk about him in training, Declan Rice and all these guys, and say like you can't get near him. The guy's unbelievable with the ball at his feet.
Exactly my point. All these players, Ben White, Declan Rice, and all of these players, everyone has said he's
dangerous.
Nightmare to deal with when he's on the ball.
But you can't do it consistently, and that's the difference between a world-class player and an average player.
And we just don't see it at United. And I think this season, he was supposed to be the leader of this line. And right now, Højlund is practically the leader of that line. Garnacho is the leader of that attacking line, and not Marcus Rashford. So as far things are actually looking right now, I don't know if anyone would actually negate the idea of actually, Marcus Rashford leaving Manchester United next season, because we're just not seeing what we expect from him. He's a senior player now. He's had enough time on his shoulders, and young players coming from the academy are actually outshining him in his position.
It's like the young players are the senior players, isn't it? And I tweeted that out the other day. It's like the youngsters, like Kobe and Garnacho, are the ones leading the team and showing the fight and the spirit. And then it's like Rashford's the one who's been under these 5-6 different managers, and he's kind of tainted by this environment.
If people actually watch a United game, beside, if no one sees the, name behind the shirt and just see the players playing, they would actually think that Kobe Mainoo is like a veteran playing with that midfield, the way he actually plays. And the way Rashford is playing right now, people would say that maybe he's just a youngster coming through the ranks. So I think sometimes it just comes down to the fact, that over the course of the season, because it's been a lot of time, and people thought that, maybe Rashford has had a slow start to the season. He had that last year as well, and then he grew into it by Christmas time, and he had that goal scoring spurt. But it's just not happened for him this season at all.
No, it's not. If you are just joining, the lineup is Onana, Dalot, Kambwala, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka at left back. You've got Casemiro, Mainu, and Bruno in the midfield. And then you have Garnacho, Rasmus Højlund, and Marcus Rashford. Make sure you do smash a like on the video if you're looking forward to this game, regardless of how you feel it's going to kind of play out. Bruno Fernandes has just given an interview before the game, Shreyas. He said it's a completely different game. The cup game is completely different. So that's the mindset they're going in with this one. They're not expecting a similar game or similar performance. What are you personally expecting from this game in terms of how it plays out? Do you think it'll be tight, cagey? Do you think it'll be open, expansive?
Open, absolutely open, at least from our end. With Liverpool,
Yeah, just our end.
probably would. Yeah, with Liverpool, the thing is, Liverpool don't make the same mistake twice. And I think in that last game, for some reason, even their midfield, I wouldn't say they left a lot of holes behind, but Kobe Mainoo was just able to rip through them every single time we had the ball at the half turn. So, and I think in this game, they'll be looking to actually target him a lot more, because the only player right now, I think, who's able to, dictate that midfield even for 15 or 20 minutes throughout the course of a game is Kobe Mainoo. Apart from that, Casemiro isn't able to do that, and neither is Bruno Fernandes. So if you're able to target Mainoo in that midfield, automatically the pressure mounts even more on that defensive backline. So I think if we allow 28 to 30 shots in this game from Liverpool, I don't know if Onana has it in him to save against, the likes of
I saw a tweet about him Shreyas before saying, good luck to this man today who's going to face 40 shots against Liverpool trying to keep a clean sheet.
Exactly my point. And the thing is, at least with other teams like Luton, if you're doing it against Brentford, they are not teams that are relentless. Liverpool are the sort of a team, they keep on coming and coming and coming till the last second. And if it's going to be that sort of a game with, Mo Salah, Luis Diaz, your Darwin Núñez and Gakpo probably coming off the bench, and then all of them just attacking again and again and again and again, it's going to be a nightmare for Onana today if that happens.
I really do think he's going to have his work cut out for him. I also think Maguire and Campbell are rarely starting together. Like, individually, they've done okay and they've been relatively good, but what makes a centre-back is the partnership in it. So I am slightly worried about that, but hopefully Maguire will kind of lead him through the
game. You could say this is our fifth and sixth choice centre-back partnership actually playing together in the game against Liverpool.
Well, we've had 20-odd different centre-back partnerships. And this kind of leads into what Gary Neville's just been talking about, which I think is interesting why he said this, especially before a game. I don't buy into this idea that United have been decimated by injuries. That's what he said pre-match, which is interesting because it definitely offers some context. When we just spoke about the centre-back partnerships, different all season, almost every single game. Your wing-back situations is completely different. The midfield has been up and down everywhere. When Højlund hasn't been available, we've had to play Marcus as a 9. Yeah. How can you not buy into that? Do you think that's a bit of a stupid comment?
I think it is, because you look at City this season. When Rodri was out and when De Bruyne was out, even they weren't really able to pull results. And look at their squad. I mean, if they've not got Rodri, they've got players like Kovacic, they've got Matheus Nunes, and I think Rico Lewis and John Stones actually playing in midfield for them. If they've not got De Bruyne, they've got players like Julian Alvarez, Jeremy Doku, Bernardo Silva, and these are quite talented players. And even though they were playing, City were continuously dropping points to teams like Villa. I think they struggled to win against team like Luton Town. So it does have an effect, and we've seen it happen to Liverpool last season with with an injury crisis. They were not able to really pull through with results. Arsenal, when they lost just Saliba last season, their entire campaign just derailed altogether. So people might think that 1 or 2 injuries don't really have that much of an impact, but with United, it's not even been like 1 or 2 players being out. It's practically been an entire squad actually being out for more than half a season. And then even when they've come in, it's been up and down, because I would say I think this season would have been a lot different if our first team players were available. Like if Lisandro Martinez was available for a full season, if Varane, if Luke Shaw,
Well, he proved that from the start of the season when they was available, and we won every game, pretty much.
Yeah.
But bar a couple. So.
Yeah, and I just really, really think that because of injuries, it's just made it a lot worse, because it's not been like the way that we are playing it allows us to actually have any impact or control over the game. For us to actually have an impact or control over the game, you need a ball playing centre back to build up from behind, and we've got only one centre back in Lisandro Martinez who can do that job.
I think that's why I think there's going to be a lot of long ball today. You're going to see a lot of
It
long
has
balls
to be.
today. It has to
I
be.
think you cannot play out from the back against a team like Liverpool, especially when you've got players like Maguire, Kampala, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka
Maguire,
playing in behind.
long switcher play. You know the pass I'm on about.
Yeah,
Rashford,
yeah.
left-hand side. They're going to try that multiple times. And it's interesting, Neville actually spoke about Rashford as well in his pre-match comments. He said, Rashford is such an important player for United because United don't have world-class players throughout their squad. But what they have in Marcus Rashford is someone who can deliver in world-class moments. I don't know what to expect from him today because every time I've kind of doubted him before a big game, he decides to show up in a big game, which is... But we've spoken about Rashford, so I don't want to go into that.
Season, I would genuinely but say that this season, in the big games, he's still come up with goals. But apart from that goals, he's just been absolutely non-existent in those games as well. Like even in the game against City, he scored an incredible goal.
Yeah, but he also had two moments.
Yeah, he had
fucked
3 or
up.
4 more opportunities where he just had to take a touch and just go for goal, but he wasn't able to convert. So Rashford definitely needs to step up because we all know that Ineos are going to be very, very cutthroat when it comes to the coming transfer window. They're moving really quick when it comes to getting their people in the different departments and actually relieving people of their posts at United itself. I think a lot of these players might be gone this start of next season.
Yeah. I've just got a quick stat I want to read out on Marcus, actually. So Marcus Rashford has scored 7 goals for United against Liverpool. Only Stan Pearson, George Wall and Stanley Turnbull, both 9, have scored more for the club against the Anfield side. So it's a club he likes scoring against. Equally with Liverpool's Mohamed Salah, he scored in the past 3 Premier League away games against Manchester United. So he's another one who likes scoring against us, unfortunately. Man United have won just one of their past 11 Premier League games against Liverpool, but it was this fixture last season they won consecutive home league games against the Reds in 2015. We know what we're going to get with Liverpool, Shreyas. Like I said in the preview, they're still chasing the Premier League. I don't know where they are currently at the moment. Are they top still? Or I think are Arsenal top?
Second. Arsenal top and they're second.
But obviously they've got a game in hand. They're in the quarters of the Europa League. They've already won the Carabao Cup. And they've lost 1 in the last 12, which is us, which we know already. And they've only lost twice all season. You know the style of play, high press, a lot of intensity, high line, triangles on either side, rotating, making it difficult. But one player I think has been super, super impressive for him and was even good against us in the last game was Alexis McAllister. Do you think he's one to watch today?
I think he'll definitely will be because the kind of form he is in right now and the way he is able to apply himself on the pitch, he's going to make life very hard for Casemiro today. I think he genuinely will be making life very, very hard for Casemiro today. And, once again, if he's got the ball on his feet around the box, you never know what can happen. So he's definitely someone I would say, you definitely need to watch out for because he's got that in his ability, to cause problems in that midfield, and especially in a midfield which leaves that much space in behind, McAllister might actually have a field day. So I think it just we just need to see how Ten Hag has actually played it out in his head, because I think like every single United game, how the game is going to go within the after seeing the first 5 minutes of the game itself, whether it's going to be basketball, whether it's going to be the off game where Ten Hag goes a lot more conservative. So just need to see how United actually progress in this game, because with Liverpool how they're going to go. They're going to go all out attack from the first minute itself when they have the ball. So how has Ten Hag planned this out? That's what we're going to be seeing in the first 5 minutes itself, and
we're about to watch it go down.
I really don't want it to be a basketball game.
It's going to be like that fucking ladder match at Mania last night. It's just going to be hectic as fuck with things everywhere. Lucky Singh says Mason Mount and Amad Diallo will have to come off the bench. I think they are two definitely can make an impact. Lewis says we get pasted today. They won't be wasteful like last time. You may just be right on that one, Lewis. Sam said 26 centre-back combination this season.
Wonderful.
26 combination. We played at the back, but injuries don't matter apparently.
Yeah, injuries don't matter though.
Okay. Anyway, Liverpool's team, they've got Kelleher in net. They've got Bradley at right back. They've got Konsa and Van Dijk as well, and then Robertson at left back. They've got McAllister, just trying to figure out the team. Endo, McAllister, Szoboszlai in the midfield, and then Diaz, Salah, and Nunes up top as well. And they've got a couple of interesting substitutes in Cody Gakpo, Elliott, Gravenberch, and Canate's on the bench for them as well. So they've got a pretty strong team. They're obviously fighting for the title, which we've already discussed. Let me just pull up the Premier League table, Shreyas. Let's have a look at this because I want to see what the situation is with points-wise. So,
yeah, don't look at our situation.
Arsenal are currently on 71 points, so they're a point ahead, but obviously Liverpool have this game in hand. So if they win this game, they go back 2 points at the top with then 7 games left to play in the Premier League title. How do you see that shaping up at the minute? Who do you think? What's your head saying?
City.
You think City will still do it?
Yeah, if De Bruyne doesn't get injured, it's City.
But they've got Foden flying as well. Don't forget. Let's have a look at the run-up. So Man City's next 5 fixtures. Let's see.
The thing is, I get how Liverpool are playing and how Arsenal are playing, but I've seen City play, and whenever I've just seen De Bruyne play for them, even in the last game, it's just so effortless.
He's so good, isn't he? He's so good.
Like he's genuinely
the second finish he has on his left foot.
Oh. Yeah. And whenever I see him play, I just think that if he actually wants to win the Premier League, he will.
Yeah. This is the run for you, okay? So they've got Luton, Brighton, Forest, Wolves, Fulham, West Ham. That's it. They win them all.
That's City's run.
And Tottenham as well, I think. They've got, so I think that game got postponed. That's City's run. That's a pretty fucking easy run.
Best, I think apart, if you have to compare it to Liverpool and Arsenal, they've got the best run possible.
Yeah, Arsenal, I believe, have got a pretty tough one because they've got obviously the Bayern Munich games. They've got Aston Villa next in the Premier League, which is going to be a tough game. Wolves away, Chelsea at home, Tottenham away, Bournemouth, United away, and then Everton at home. That's tricky for Arsenal, isn't it? Yeah.
And I would even say Everton will be a tough game considering how things are going for them right now. Yeah. You never know, in a relegation battle they might be going at it.
Liverpool have got us. They've got Palace, Fulham, Everton, Merseyside derby could be tricky. West Ham away, Tottenham at home, Villa away, and then Wolves at home as well. So yeah, City have got the cleanest run there. I would probably suggest. I mean, let's be honest, we don't want any of them to win.
We don't want any of them.
The main point is, Shreyas, if we can put a fork in the road and stop him and make them drop points, it's still a kind of feather in the cap, if you will, in that sense.
Exactly. And I think considering the fact that they've both, Arsenal have got us as well, Liverpool have got us today, and apart from it, they both got to play Tottenham as well and Villa. I think they're those are the games that will actually decide who ends up winning the title. And I just think that City is still, they've got it in them. They've done it last season when they were 8 points behind or 10 points behind Arsenal, and ended up winning with a good 6 or 7 point gap. So City have gotten in them to actually turn it around.
Yeah, it's like someone asking you, I'm one of these 3 people here are gonna kick your mum. Which one do you want it to be? Like, I don't want any of them really, but rather not the guy Liverpool, the guy in the steel toe caps who's gonna do it. Do you know what I'm saying? So ideally, I'd rather fucking Tottenham make a miraculous turnaround or something and win a trophy for once, because then you could be like, if you almost feel sorry and just, you know what, they've won something now. And the Harry Kane curse as well, him going to Bayern Munich and then them not winning the league is one of the most hilarious things ever. So I digress.
Having one of the best debut seasons for a Bundesliga star, for a player to move to
crazy,
Bundesliga
innit? Absolutely mad. Keep burping. Can't build a defensive line with that amount of changes. Absolutely. Liverpool win the league, in my opinion. I said Liverpool at the start of the season, I think, when we did the big season predictions. I think Liverpool was in there. Be unbeaten against them if we get a draw this season. That's interesting, isn't it? But again, there is context to that, because that Anfield performance was... Oh, it was horrible, that was just backs to the wall, just fucking digging, mucking, everyone.
It's the match we could have done in that game as well, once again.
Yeah, we got battered.
I mean, midfield was Amrabat, Menu, and McTominay playing in the 10 in that game.
It's crazy with Amrabat, though, isn't it, Shreyas? Because we brought him in to do a job in midfield, and he's not... He has been a letdown, hasn't he?
Letdown. Because people expected him... People expected a lot from him. And I think even Ten Hag... I think initially going into the season with Menu being out, he wanted Casemiro, Amrabat, and Bruno to be your go-to midfield, because Mount got injured at the start of the season and then Menu was out until December too. So Casemiro, Amrabat, and Bruno were the midfield to go with. And Amrabat had a lot of opportunities in him. Like he was given a lot of opportunities. He's just not turned up.
Oh.
And I think the last straw was the game against City, where he came on, he made a mistake, and then it led to a goal. So I think that was the last straw. So I think Amrabat has just been a massive, massive letdown. And moving into next season, I think once again, with our midfield, we need to once again be really, really cautious because we still need to get a 6. We still need to get another 8. And apart from it, the back line itself, there's going to be a lot of chopping and changing. So
Yeah.
outgoings are going to be there. You need to be very cautious with who you bring in.
The mad thing is he's saying, I'm looking at the stats that play for United now. I don't know how many of these are starts, but he's played 14 times for us in the Premier League, apparently, which doesn't seem like a right number, in my opinion. I feel like he's played like 5 games, and that's all I've seen him for.
He did have that patch
bit of a run in the
where he
team.
played. Yeah, when Casemiro got injured and Mount was injured and Eriksen was out as well. I think he did play because Anfield he started. I think he started against Chelsea as well when we beat them 2-1. And there were a lot of games in between where he did actually start. It's just even if he had good games, he just never hit the eye like Menu did. Or even when Casemiro, I would still rank Casemiro higher than him. Even though he's a lot more mobile, I think Casemiro still is a lot more better in this squad.
I think they both lack serious mobility in my opinion. I think they're both slugs in that midfield. They're way too slow. That was the one thing that stood out for me. Like, obviously he came in at left back, didn't he? Which is never ideal, but he was willing to do the job, which is always great. And on the ball as well in that first Crystal Palace game, I think we was both on the review or the post. It looked actually all right, like switching play. It was really, really good. But then as soon as he moves into midfield, that's gone out of his game. And he's more like he's spending a lot of time pondering on the ball, which Casemiro does a lot. And that's why this game I knew we weren't going to start anyway, but this game in particular, the intensity that Liverpool play at, I don't think he can handle the rhythm. The international football and Serie A is way different to the Premier League. It's miles off.
We've been playing Eriksen at 6 instead of Amrabat, even though we've had him.
And he's talk about snails. Jesus Christ. We've got some really slow players in our team, haven't we, when you think about it. Like, you look at Casemiro, Amrabat, Harry Maguire, very, very slow as well. Johnny Evans, Lindelof. They're all slow, man. Another quote here from Bruno. We play against a big team that has a lot of qualities. It's going to be a tough, intense game. These games against Liverpool always are. Just as not
when
like...
When will the opposition say that about us?
No, they'll be sat in that dressing room now thinking, these lot beat us last time. We let them off the fucking hook when we went 2-1 up. And we let them off the hook in extra time as well, twice. Yeah. They ain't going to let that happen again, especially when they're going for a Premier League title. So it is going to be a different game in that sense, isn't it? I think Liverpool are going to dominate a lot of the ball. And I think we're going to try hit them on the counter.
I think they might have like 65-70% possession in this game.
Yeah, I think they're going to dominate. I really, really do. I can't see it any other way. There's too many. You can't watch that Chelsea performance, can you, and think anything different, because that Chelsea performance was just horrific.
Even if United pull up with a draw in this game, it will be genuinely, it will be a big bonus for us.
But it means nothing for us, though, does it? Really, even if it's a draw, like, what does that mean for us in terms of, obviously you don't lose, which is always better.
Yeah.
But in terms of aspirations, you've got to win. If you're trying to still fight for Champions League, which is not going to happen, in my opinion, like you can't just draw. You've got to go win the game.
I just don't see it in the squad. Like, for the first time ever, I would say I genuinely just don't really see it in the squad to actually mount it, because even under Oli, I remember, I think it was his first full season in when we got Bruno in the January transfer window. We weren't really doing as great. We were like around 7th or 8th, somewhere around then.
Yeah.
But then we went on a run, and I think we won like 17 or 18 games on a run. And then we managed to get 3rd, I believe, in that season. But even in that season, you could see it in this team that, they can go for it. When I look into this team this season, I think the best that they can do is 6th. I don't even see us getting 5th at all. The max this squad has got in them is 6th, and with the way we've been playing and with the way players have been dropping every single game, we're losing like 2 to 3 players to injury bare minimum. You never know, even if we are able to end up with being in 6th position by the time this season actually ends, because Newcastle have once again pulled up with points. They've gone on a decent run.
West Ham
Chelsea win the next,
as well, beat Wolves. They're climbing up on us. Yeah,
they are climbing out. Chelsea, if they win their next game, they'll just be 2 points behind us.
How are Chelsea catching us? What is going on?
I really don't know how they're catching up, but somehow they are.
It's first time I've seen a fan tweet it before saying, This is the first time I've been able to screenshot the Premier League table, and we've been in the top half of it for about a year and a half or something. I think, I think they've just pushed into 9th or something. So it
Yeah,
is mad.
the ninth.
It's been a mad Premier League season. It's been. I think when you reflect on it, when we do the kind of big season review, it's going to be so many things to talk
Oh
about.
no.
Not even just from a United point of view, because there's millions of things you can discuss. The Premier League in general, like the way it's shaping up, the 3 teams near the top who fight for the title, Europe teams
Oh,
near the bottom, even go down to the Championship, even go to like other kind of by Leverkusen going unbeaten. I think it shows really it's a showcase of why football is the best sport
the
on the planet.
aspirations we had.
It's oh god, I know. I don't even want. We'd
We
have
had.
to review that at the start and go look back at it and sit
I
and look what we
mean,
said.
we both were quite confident we'll make it to the semis of the Champions League.
Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah.
God.
One person said we might even win it, and we had
Yeah.
yeah, that was me, and that may have been one of the worst predictions ever because it was our
Yeah.
worst Champions League group campaign. But anyway, we'll save that for another day because we can do a full hour on that, like I said.
Yeah.
Just before me and Shreyas give our famous predictions and goal scorers and all that kind of stuff, I want to get a general consensus from you lot. How are you feeling about this game? Are you nervous? Do you think it's going to play out to how the FA Cup game went, or do you think it's going to be the total opposite? You think Liverpool are going to dominate and we're going to get slapped effectively? Let me know in the comments. We did put a poll up at the start of the show, and we said first goal scorer, Garnacho got 30%, Salah got 35%, Højlund got 35%, and McAllister got 0. I'd put McAllister first if I was a betting man, which I'm not.
Yeah, even I would.
But I'd put McAllister. I think McAllister's going to get a goal today, a goal or an assist,
Yeah.
at least.
I think the
It,
scoreline will. I think the scoreline will stay at 2-1 either way.
I don't know what I can't predict United anymore. I can't. I'm done doing it because after that Brentford game, it's like anything can happen. After the Fulham game, the Brentford game, the Galatasaray
If it's
game,
30 shots, if it's 30 shots on target against us, then once again it
we're
will be
done.
5 or 6 nil.
We're done.
At least 5 or 6
Because they
nil.
have Salah, Nunes, and Diaz. Diaz, in fairness, isn't as clinical, but them two
Yeah.
will get a goal today. I can guarantee it. McAllister will probably get a penalty as well. So let's not beat around the bush anymore, Shreyas. Give us your goal scorers. Give me a kind of brief synopsis, how you see the first, let's say, 30 minutes playing out, and who do you think will win as well? So 3
I
questions
think
there.
Liverpool will win it. Then I think for us, Højlund will score. And apart from it, I think for them, Salah. I think McAllister will get on the score sheet for sure in this
Yep.
game. And apart from it, it will either be Salah or Nunes getting the goals for them. And yeah, once again, it will be a basketball game on our side, not on them. I think Liverpool will be quite more organized than they were in that previous game. They don't make the same mistake again and again, and
True.
they know that they can't really let us off the hook, because if they do, even we've got enough in us that if Liverpool do actually provide us with that leverage once again to come back into the game, we know how to hurt them, so they won't be making that mistake again. And I think from the start we'll be seeing them playing on the front foot. They'll be looking to actually keep us in our own half and actually cause us a lot of problems in the first 15 minutes itself. The only way I think United could just even be in the balance or even just stay competitive is if we don't concede an early goal. Like if it is still 0-0 by the time it is like 20 or 25 minutes, I would say we still made it past that point, that then even Liverpool will be a lot more desperate to get the goal. If you can make it out the first 15 or 20 minutes without conceding, I think United still have a chance to actually keep the game a bit in shape. That's it.
But I think that's the only way, like you said, I think that's the only way United can win it, innit? If it is
Yeah.
end to end, that's almost our only chance, because it's like, right, hope they miss a chance at the end. We've got decent attackers and decent players.
Yeah.
Maybe we can win it. That's why I think Liverpool will go for the fact that they'll be a lot more measured in their approach. I think they'll keep the ball a lot better. And they'll try to draw United out, especially in central areas with Cambuala starting there, with Casemiro being a little bit leggy. Klopp will look to target that. So I think they'll have that kind of counter press system where they'll keep hold of the ball, tick it around. As soon as they lose it, they'll be on us. Because there's lack of cohesion there. There's players popping in and out. There isn't like real chemistry. So I think they'll just target us in that sense, and I think we'll kind of be vulnerable. That's why I see it playing out the first 20, 30 minutes. Bit of nervousness, passing not on point. Liverpool kind of counteracting on it and maybe getting a couple of goals in the first half.
If we pass the way that
We're done for.
Especially against Brentford, and
Yeah,
we're
done. Yeah, agreed. I'm gonna go. Man, I hate doing these predictions. I want to be positive. I want United to win, and I want to say, we win it 2-1 in a very good game.
We all know.
But we know.
We know how we're going to set up. We know how it is going to go from our end.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm gonna try speak it into existence. Right. We beat Liverpool in a 3-2 thriller, and Marcus Rashford scores a 90-minute winner. Yeah. Liverpool get a player sent off.
Would you say that this game ends up deciding whether Ten Hag will be in a job next season or not? This game.
I believe it probably should, but from the reports that like Laurie Whitwell put out the other day, and he's talking about Ineos are going to back him, they get the injuries and the structure and da-da-da and all this stuff. I think they're going to stick with him regardless. Yeah. But I think they should. I think if we get battered off Liverpool today, I think he should go.
Yeah, that was my point. That if we end up losing like 4-0
I think so.
or 5-1, something like that, that next season he'll be gone.
I think so. Yeah, just in my opinion. We've seen too much kind of trauma this season. We can't have another slapping off Liverpool. It's unacceptable, man. It really, really is. So, look, we will let you guys go and watch the game. Make sure you join us for the post-match analysis. It's going to be a fucking very interesting one, regardless whichever way the result goes. Any final words for the lad Shreyas before I let you go?
Yeah, just, keep... if you've got a weak heart, don't watch this game. Just keep scrolling on your Twitter and see the scoreline that. And if you want to keep a sane head, don't watch this game. Like genuinely, if you want to keep a sane head, don't watch this game. If you can take it, if you can, watch us losing the ball again and again and again, and it being a very frustrating game and making the same mistakes again and again, you can still watch it. But you still got mania left to watch tonight. To keep your head off. Yeah, to kind of soften the blow a little bit until Cody doesn't finish the story. Anyway, I'm joking. All I'm going to leave you with is this. That's what you're going to see today, okay? That's what you're going to see. Go and enjoy the game. We'll speak to you after it. Get in the comment section and let us know your thoughts. Cheers, Shreyas, for coming on. Yeah, see ya.